Am I visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, right. Okay, you mute your video also. Switch off your videos and mute your audios. Okay, nice. Let me share the screen once again. Okay, nice. Yesterday we discussed some topics. What exactly software is meant for, and what exactly a software is measured in. Now, softwares as part of students' perspective as well as industry strength software perspective, we discussed so many points. If software which is part of the student's perspective, it does not follow any type of rules and regulations when they are developing. There will not be any kind of standards which have been applied for the projects which have been developed as part of the student's perspective. Yesterday we seen some of the differences, some of the aspects in different sections as part of student as well as the industrial strength software development. I will brief it once again for a few seconds, then I will go further for the next topic. That is, as a student's perspective, if you are developing software as a project in your academics, then you will not follow any type of standards which have been mentioned by the ISO or IEEE standards, because they are not supposed to be used by any kind of a company which has been developed as part of student perspective. So if a software which has been developed for the purpose of industrial or any kind of a business, any kind of a company, software company, then it has to follow all the standards which have been mentioned, or thumb rules it has to follow. And there are a lot of differences between them. For suppose it has been mentioned here, no documentation is needed for the projects which has been developed as part of students, because they will not ask any kind of a documentation. And in industrial strength softwares, users or clients as well as company needs the documentation, because they have to see to what extent a software has been built. Let us say that if something happens with the software, that is, any kind of an errors have been erased or any kind of a irregularity has been seen in the software deployment, then immediate maintenance will be done by the software company, by the respected persons. So everything is documented as part of the industrial softwares. Next, we see some of the, I'm briefing it out once again. So some of the aspects which have been learned yesterday, that is what I'm repeating once again. That is, software is not at all a critical issue as part of the students. When it is industrial, it is important, because if business is going to happen with that software, then the software should be very strong enough so that it can handle any kind of situation. So that is not critical as in student. And one more important thing is cost. The cost which is involved in developing a student's project as part of the academics, that does not have any kind of investment, just to spend some money to learn the subjects, that's it. But whereas the industrial strength software, it needs heavy investment, because they are paying the employees and the persons, those who are involved in the software building, they have to be paid. in terms of case, some thousands. So this needs more investment when we are developing a software as part of industrial strength. And next one is we will be very much concentrating on the industrial strength software, because as an engineer, now you are the software developer is also called as a software engineer. So you will be thinking of a software which is supposed to be utilized by everyone in the company as well as the client systems. So you must be very careful with these things. So thumb rules have to be followed, standards have to be followed. Now industrial strength software, we are concentrating on some aspects here. You observe some of them. Is student programs for a problem and industrial strength software are two different things. So key difference is that the quality is not good when compared to the student. See, industrial strength software. Industrial strength software needs better quality, better results, better productivity. So all of them are very much followed as part of the standards. Now there is one person, Brooks thumb. It is a thumb rule that industrial strength software costs 10 times more than the student software, because the student software does not have much more quality. So it has to be 10 times better than the student aspects of the project. In this course, now when we are going to learn the upcoming topics, what we are going to learn, it is about all the industrial strength software, what we are developing as part of the industrial softwares. We are going to learn some of the characteristics of it. Now one may think it is that cost, just now I told you cost is a major impact on the project which has been developed. If it is an industrial strength software, it needs more investment. When it comes to student perspective, it needs, or it does not need any kind of an investment. So for any company to develop a software, it needs more amount of money, more amount of investment is needed. So here we will see the costs which have been involved in it. The productivity is nothing but the 1,000 lines of code per person month. So every person who is working under that project can write about 1,000 lines of code per month. So the cost of writing that is 3K to 10K per person month. So you are spending or giving you a salary. If the company gives a salary to the person for writing 1,000 lines of code, that is 3K to 10K per person per month. So what happens here is, here in terms of dollars, it has been mentioned here. Each line of delivered code costs many dollars. So what is saying here, coding is not an only aspect here. Developing a software is not at all an aspect, single aspect over here, because it involves all the other aspects also. See, as a programmer, if you are writing a code for a software, it means that you are not only the person who has been involved in that project. There are other peoples also involved in that development process. Like you are the programmer or a coding specialist. Next, there will be another specialist called as a testing specialist. There is another person called as a maintenance person. So there are a lot of people who have been working on it. So this involves so much of investment into the company for developing a particular software. And one more issue which has to be concentrated more, that is schedule. That is, if the project has been intended for, let us suppose that a small project which has been taking not more than 2 to 3 months, if it is delivered within that period, there is no problem. Let us say that if it is not going to complete within 2 months, what will happen? If that project is not going to complete as in stipulated time, that is 2 to 3 months. So what happens here? The cost may rise because it needs more investment again. So it will be extended for 1 more month. What happens here? The employees has to be paid for 1 more month. The number of lines may be increasing. So if you increase the scheduling, if the scheduling has been tightly followed, then there is no problem at all with the software. It is mentioned here that business requirements today demand short delivery times for a software. Yes, every software must be delivered within the time period. Otherwise, the investment will be high. The cost may increase. The employees has to work more. So it needs so much of investments and person months works again. Next, in the past, software products have often failed to be completed in time. Yes, it is one of the fact that in the past, some of the softwares have not been delivered within the time. So what has happened? Their investment has been increased. The cost has been increased. The employees have been working more than what actual time is. Along with the cost, the cycle time is a fundamental driving force. Yes, it is an important point. It is saying that along with the cost, the time is also important and the schedule is also important. Next, we will see what is the productivity in terms of the cost and schedule. Can anyone say what is productivity? Yesterday class we have discussed about productivity in terms of resources and the results. Can anybody say that? There is one terminology which has been used in the software development process. Anyone? I think Vanaja unmuted herself. Or write in the chat box, please. There is some kind of a distance. Tell me.
మనకి ఎంతైతే అవసరం ఉందో అంత సోర్సెస్ ని మనం ప్రొడ్యూస్ చేయగలిగితే దాన్ని ప్రొడక్టివిటీ అంటారు సార్. వాట్ వి హావ్ నీడ్ దెన్ వి ప్రొడ్యూస్ దట్.
Okay. See, it is one kind of an output resources based on the input resources. So how many input resources have been used, according to that the products have to be delivered. That has to be major issue here. And the productivity is measured in the terms of lines of code which have been developed in person per month. Person month lo calculate chestar lines of codes. So as part of industrial strength software project, it is not only dealing with the quality, other issues, it is also dealing with the cost and schedule also. And it is measured in terms of output per unit effort, that is lines of code per person month. So if the productivity is high, the cost will be the low. If the productivity is high, the schedule will be less. So hence for the projects to deliver a software with the quality and productivity are the basic things which we need. So quality as well as productivity are the two main aspects, along with the cost schedule also. Now we are more concentrating on the quality issues. Like along with productivity, the quality is the other major driving factor. If you develop a high quality software, then that software will have a good success in the market. The quality of the software, it is hard to define what exactly a quality of a software is. The quality may depend upon several aspects. It may depend upon the productivity, it may depend upon the cost, it may depend upon the schedule. So all other aspects have been involved in this quality design. So there is no particular definition we can give for the quality. But according to International Standard Organization, the software quality has been based on some aspects here. It has been mentioned. First one is functionality, reliability, usability, efficiency, maintainability, and portability. So functionality, reliability, usability, efficiency, maintainability, and portability. So we will be getting one after the other. So first thing to be understood that software quality is based upon these 6 attributes according to ISO standards. Now, first thing, functionality. So, every project, let us say that every software is made up of several modules, several functionalities. So, software, it is not a single unit, yes or no? The software is not a single task. It is a collection of several tasks. So, every task is divided as a functionality, individual functionality. So if every functionality works well according to the plan, according to the cost, according to the schedule, then that quality will be high. Quality of the product will be high, quality of the software will be high. Next, coming to the reliability, reliability is nothing but in Telugu we say that namakam. So how we can rely on the software? That is how we can trust the software which has been a good quality. We can say that if it works well for everything, it says that my software, if you developed a software, you are mentioning to the client that my software is free from all kind of errors or failure free. So there are no failures will happen in future also. My software is of good quality. You can say that. So that is a trust you can give to the clients as a software engineer or a software employee in the company. So reliability is the second aspect. It is nothing but free from failures of your software. Next, usability is nothing but those who are using your software. If you are a software employee, you are developing a software. If anybody uses your software, they have to be understand. They have to understand every aspect of your software. Then only they can use it. If they are not understanding your software, let us say that there is only some magic has been done. So they can't do anything. Let us say that I will give an example. If a person who doesn't know anything about, I will give a general example out of this subject. That is, if a person from the village background, he does not know anything about a car, wants to buy a car, and he went to the showroom. What happens here? He will see so many cars. He has one main idea to buy a car which he knows. Let us say that one person, he entered into the showroom and one person received him, and the person who received him told that, sir, what do you want? He says that I want to buy a car, so and so company. He says that one. Okay, what happens here is the person who wants to buy a car, the village person, a person from the village background, he came into the showroom and he sees the particular aimed that is what he requires. He will be seeing all the cars. One thing here is that there is one kind of a demonstrator will be there in the showroom demonstrating how it is utilized, how the car will work, what is the engine type, and what is the steering type, how many types of how much mileage it will give. But the village person doesn't know everything, all these things. He wants to buy a car. That's it. A basic idea is to buy a car. That's it. He doesn't know what type of engine is utilized inside it, what type of oil is used inside it, what kind of architecture has been used inside it. If the person in the showroom tries to explain all these things, the village person, he will be denying to buy a car and he will go out of that showroom. So one thing here, if a person understands your software in a very clear manner, then only he can use your software. If he doesn't know anything about your software, how it is going to work, then there is no use of developing such kind of softwares. If you are making the client to understand, then only the software can be utilized by the client. Next, there comes efficiency. Efficiency is nothing but what? Efficiency is nothing but what do you measure in efficiency? Efficiency is not the quality which has been produced either. Efficiency is nothing but how much of inputs have been used. According to that, output has to be given. The result should be same. Whatever results have been outcomes, that has to be giving us a good quality out of it. Next, maintainability. Let us say that if you developed a software and it has been delivered to the client, after some time, let us say that after 2 years, there have been some kind of errors in the software. Then at that aspect of time, you are supposed to maintain it. Maintaining is nothing but checking that software whether it is working according to that year, current trend year. Let us say that you developed a software back in 2018. Now it is working according to the current situations or not. You have to maintain it or you check it. Okay, this is nothing but the maintainability, whether your software is ready for improvements which has to be added or not. That is what major concern about maintainability. Next, portability, and one a simple thing. Portability is nothing but easy to carry, but here your software has to be working with any kind of environment, any type of a business, any type of an application. Your software has to be working with them. If the software is not working along with the other environments, then there is no use of developing such kind of a software. So let us say that there is one kind of an mobile apps. You always download some kind of apps into your mobile phones because your mobile phone is allowing to install such kind of a software. Then only it is working. If it is not, then you are not supposed to cope up with the apps. So every application has to be working according to the environment in which that has been installed, whether it is different operating system, whether it is any kind of environments. So these are all the 6 attributes which has been mentioned by the ISO to develop a quality software. So the concept of the quality is absolutely a project specific. More reliability is most important, and some others maybe usability is maybe more important, and reliability is generally considered as the quality criteria, main quality criteria. Next, we will see here the quality is nothing but the probability of a failure. So reliability we can't measure. Measuring of reliability is nothing but the how much free of failures your software is going to be done. So how much number of less defects your software will contain, that is called as the reliable enough. If your project contains less number of defects, then you can say that it is very much good in the quality. Next comes the aspect called as maintainability. Once the software is developed, it enters into the maintenance phase. Obviously, that is once your software has been delivered to the client, then it comes under the maintenance phase because it has been delivered to it and they are ready to use it. After certain period of time, there are some issues, then you have to go there, or from the place you were, you have to solve those issues by the according to the requirements what the client needs. Let us say that today I need some in my software. As a client, I need some of them into the software, but after 1 year I need some more features to be added into that software. Then the company has to solve those issues. Okay, and we are left with 10 minutes. Okay, less than 10 minutes. Right, these are the some of the issues regarding maintenance. Next, and one more thing, maintenance is not an issue. Maintenance is not at all an easy issue, because if you are adding some more features to the existing feature, it means that you are not disturbing the already existing features. You should not disturb them. So maintenance will be having a major drawback also here. If you are keep on adding some updates to it, the previous version of a task will be deleted also. So be careful when in the time of maintenance phase. So maintenance requires more effort rather than developing a new project, because developing a new project, it means that you will be creating a software according to the required specified. But here already some requirements are there and you are adding some more requirements to the existing requirements. Then you will be controlling all the previous requirements also. So it is more effort is needed when you are using or when you are maintaining a software. So maintainability is one more aspect of developing a quality of the software. Hence, it may mention that quality and productivity are the basic things in a software project, and the most of the methodologies in a company is to deliver a software with a high quality and productivity. And there are some other needs are also there along with cost, schedule, and quality. We are supposed to discuss two more things, that is change and scale. These are the other two issues which a software has to be concentrated. Change is nothing but whenever any change happens, let us say that you developed a software, you delivered it, and there is some requirements have been assigned by the client to the company to adapt to the or introduce these changes into the software. So the software has to be changing, keep on changing, because you see so many softwares are getting updates every month itself, because they have to be coping up with the present trends, present needs of the users. So updates have been designed every month for every individual software which you are encountering with or familiar with. So change is one more aspect. And a scale. Let us say that scale is nothing but if you are dealing with a small project, the methods which you used for developing that project will not be the same for the large projects. Let us say that there is one kind of a example which has been, there is one room, in room there are some people are there, counting those peoples. Counting is a problem here. So counting is one kind of a question here. Counting the number of people in a room is different from counting a number of people in the country. So the methods which we use here are different. When we compare these two things, the methods are different. So the scales may range. So the methods to solve the problem, small problems, will not be same for the large problems or large kind of issues. So for the small projects, there is an informal way of collecting the data will be done. But according to the large complex projects, formal way. Formal is nothing but the standards which have to be followed. According to the standards, we have using some methods to use the software. So here is an example of which I told you, the counting the number of people in a room versus taking a census. Census is nothing but the number of people, counting the number of people in the country. Both are the counting problems. The methods used the first not useful for census. For the large scale counting problem, must use the different techniques and models. Here management will become the critical issue, maintaining some kind of an important thing. See here, there are examples. There is one kind of a software that is GCC. To build that GCC, they need 980,000 lines of code, and they have been used in C, C++. Yeah. So to develop GCC, the company has designed 980,000 lines of code. For designing Perl, 320,000 lines of code. For Apache, 100,000 lines of code. Linux, 30,000 lines of code. Windows XP, 40,000 lines of code. That is C, C++, which have been developed here. So industries and software tends to be large, hence methods used for developing them must be able to scale up. It may be a small one, it may be a big one, but it has to be developed according to the quality issues, everything. So the basic objective of this discussion is to develop a software with a high quality and a productivity by considering all the aspects what we discussed here: cost, schedule, quality, change and scale. And some 6 functionalities are also there which have been given by the ISO standards. So this is about all we discussed, the summary. The problem domain for software engineering is industrial strength software is nothing but a software which is meant for the companies or any kind of a business. So here software engineering aims to provide methods for systematically developing a software. So software engineering is nothing but it uses so many methods which are very systematically done in developing a software. And one more thing, developing software, the goal is to achieve high quality and productivity. Methods may be different, but the development will be done according to the quality and productivity issues. It may be a small problem or it may be a large problem. Okay, this is all about your introduction to the software engineering. Why we are going to learn software engineering? This is the terms which we have to consider. These are the things which we encounter while we are developing the software. So now we will see what exactly a software process, what exactly software development will start with. Now these are the pre-requirements to be considered when you are developing a software, and concentrate on these issues and standards also. One thing is for sure, when you are an employee of a company, you will be developing a software, but if you write a code which contains more number of bugs, then what happens? The software may crash. So you will be making sure that everything is followed and everything according to the standards. So I will brief it once again. That is, industrial strength software is nothing but the software which is meant for business or a company. And it has to be developed according to the methods which have been designed. And there are approaches to develop the software. There are different types of models in which a software is going to be developed. And the main goal of it is high quality and productivity. And it must be according to the changes. If the software is developed today, then it has to be accommodating or adapting to the situations in the year 2025 also. Your software has to be according to the different situations, different environments also in the coming years also. So this is all about your introduction to the software engineering. That is the problem called as the software. There are certain solutions are there. There are certain modules are there. We are going to see in the next lesson. That is next topic. Okay. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.